Year 5 and welcome to your English lesson for today. So we are going to start exploring conversational dialogue and we're going to look at it from the point of view of an inanimate object. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the wider world from the point of view of an object rather than from the point of view of us as a human being. So our success criteria today is I can define personification and find examples within a sentence. So I'm going to give you some sentences as your retrieval activity because I gave you a personification task to do on the Thursday when we were sent home. And we're going to see if we can identify some of those skills in some of those sentences. We're then going to look at defining anthropomorphism. Now, we've briefly touched on this a few times this year, and we're not digging deep into this. It just links into personification quite nicely, especially for the topic that we're doing for poetry. And we're going to see if we can think of examples that you can relate to, such as movies. Okay, so it'll be fairly easy, the level of work we're doing for anthropomorphism today. Don't worry, I'm not going to be teaching you GCSE English, all right? And then to be able to create a simple sentence using personification to describe an object's movements and feelings from their point of view, okay? So you're going to start experimenting with the idea of a book and looking at different elements of where you might find a book, what happens to a book, how it might feel when you touch it, open its pages, rip pages, fold pages, leave it in the bottom of your school bag with your soggy sandwich or a banana and then goes moulding. And we're going to start thinking about those elements. We're then going to start creating some of those sentences for today and tomorrow, ready to do our own modelled write together on Monday and Tuesday when we come back next week. So before we get started, you have an activity here to do. So I'd like you to write down these sentences in your books or on the paper that you've got at home. And I want you to underline where the personification is in each of these sentences. So pause the video and have a go. Okay, the first one, the stars danced playfully in the moonlit sky. The rundown, depressed house. Okay, that's a sneaky one there because that's more of an emotion. And obviously houses don't have emotions. The rude sign on the door insulted my intelligence. Obviously it doesn't have a voice, it can't really insult anything. And the smell of baked muffins welcomed us inside. It's not like they have arms where they say, come on, come in, come and eat us. We're really tasty. So well done if you got all 4 of those correct. If you didn't, make sure you go back and underline where the correct ones were because it's going to help you with our next few lessons moving on in our poetry unit. So what is personification? Now, we've done personification a lot when we've looked at our figurative language this year, and we know that Brandon, if you're there, king of personification, always gets its bang on. So we're going to do a quick recap of this, and you might recognise this from the work you did on Thursday. So it's when we give an animal, plant, or a non-living object, so an inanimate object, human characteristics. Now, this could include emotions, feelings, sensations, physical movements, and speech. Okay, for example, lightning danced across the sky. Okay, we know that lightning can't dance, but the idea of dancing is when you move quickly and you move to a rhythm or to a beat, don't you? And when you compare the idea of something dancing and moving, you can imagine what the lightning bolt's doing at the same time. Now, to link that in there, what is anthropomorphism? It's a very similar concept, but it's a bit more in-depth than personification. So it's when when non-human things have human traits, so characteristics, movements, idiosyncrasies, so things to do with their personality, the way they behave, the way they react, what their state of mind is, their type of character, their emotions, what their intentions are. Okay, so it's often used in stories and art. Okay, and some of those common ones you might recognise: the 3 Little Pigs. You've got a wolf and pigs and they talk and they act like humans. They build houses, they huff and puff, they laugh, they giggle, they have feelings, they have emotions. They build a plot, don't they, to get rid of the wolf. That's a very human thing to do. Obviously, wolf and pigs don't necessarily behave like that. They have animal instincts, but not human instincts. Even like Mickey Mouse. Okay, I don't know if any of you have ever watched Mickey Mouse, although it's probably partly more my generation. I don't think I've really watched much Mickey Mouse in my life either, to be fair. But obviously it's a mouse, and he talks and acts like a human. The TV show all about it. Tom and Jerry, the cat and the mouse. Tweety Bird with the birds. Now, you might recognise these ones more for your generation. Toy Story, all toys, okay? They always go on some big, massive adventure, be it to the arcade, or they end up going on a trip with a spoon, they end up in a museum, they end up in a big giant furnace. Spoiler alert for any of you who haven't watched them. You may have watched Cars. So you've got Cars, talking cars, race cars. They participate in effectively like our Indy 500 or our, Formula 1. But obviously our cars, like Lewis Hamilton's car, doesn't talk. Okay, same for Transformers, they don't transform either. Monsters Inc., all monsters, they all have jobs, they work in a factory. You've got a boss, you've got the hierarchy. Same concept. Madagascar, animals. Okay, they go on their adventure, but they have human characteristics. Okay, they have jokes, they have laughs, they have feelings, they have emotions. And Paddington too. I mean, a talking bear. It's not a common thing to have talking bear, is it? So those are all some more modern day examples where personification and anthropomorphism is used a lot. Okay, and that's why we've brought all these kind of objects and animals alive and given them a human personality and characteristic. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch this video clip. Now, on the basis that this video clip doesn't record properly on our video when I upload it onto YouTube, I have also attached this link as a second video to the home learning sheet that's gone home to you. So if this has gone up on YouTube and this is blank and you can't see anything, pause the video and go back and have a look at the other YouTube clip and then come back to the video. Sometimes the copyright's a bit funny and I'm not going to know that until I've actually uploaded this onto YouTube. So you've got it there as a backup. If not, see if we can have a watch of it now.
You saved the day again, Woody.
You're my favorite deputy.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.
Come on, let's wrangle up the cattle.
When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed,
Round them up, cowboy.
just remember what your old pal said. Boy, you got a friend in me.
Yeehaw!
Yeah, you got a friend in me.
Hey, cowboy.
Some other folks might be a little bit smarter than I am, big and stronger too,
Come on, Woody.
maybe, but none of them will ever love you the way I do. It's me and you, boy, and as the years go by, a friendship will never die. You gon' see it's our destiny. You got a friend in me.
All right.
Yeah, you got a friend in me.
Score!
You got a friend
Wow,
in
cool.
me.
What do you think?
Oh, this looks great, Mom.
Okay, birthday
We
boy.
saw that at the store. I asked you for it.
I hope I
Wow,
have
look
enough
at that. That's so
choices.
cool. Oh
One,
my
two,
gosh, you got...
Yeah, I think that's going to be enough.
Can we leave this up till we move?
Well, sure, we can leave it up.
Yeah.
Now go get Molly. Your friends are going to be here any minute.
Okay. It's party time, Woody. Yee-haw! Howdy, little lady.
Somebody's poisoned the water hole.
Come on, Molly. Oh, you're getting heavy. See you later, Woody.
Pull my string. The birthday party's today? Okay, everybody. Coast is clear.
Ages 3 and up. It's on my box. Ages 3 and up. I'm not supposed to be babysitting Princess Drool. Hey, Ham, look, I'm Picasso.
I don't get it.
You uncultured swine. What are you looking at, you hockey puck?
Hey, Sarge, have you seen Slinky?
Sir, no, sir.
Okay, hey, thank you. At ease. Hey.
Okay, so you've had a bit of an insight there into
You
the
saved
video.
the day again, Woody.
Let's see if it's going to continue playing this again. Okay, so I've given you a bit of an introduction then. I'm going to go through some of the snippets just to give you an idea of why I've made you watch that part of the video clip. So this is the opening part of our video clip. Obviously, Woody is being used in a human context in that he's a cowboy, he's going off and he's doing a fighting scene. That comes from the point of view of Andy, who obviously is a human and is a child. So he's almost using his point of view of how to use Woody and using as almost like a toy and as a prop, okay? And then we have this scenario here. So obviously all of the toys are being used in a human situation. Obviously you've got Mr. Potato Head who's now robbing a bank, okay? That's a thing that happens with humans when you've got bank robbers, okay? You've got people that go into the banks. Obviously you've got the army soldiers down here, which would be the police, and then you've got the shocked people that are around who are almost like the people that are being held hostage, so your hostages. So we still have a human situation there, but the toys are still being used in toy form to reciprocate a human situation. Okay, so at the moment, we're still in the imagination of Andy, so the human. And then we see a change And if you notice here, we're now no longer seeing this part of the video clip from Andy's point of view. We're now seeing this from Woody's point of view. So now we're starting to get that first snippet of the human characteristics from Woody. So now what Woody sees as a toy. So this is him coming down the banister. Then he's sat on the chair and he's spinning. Now we're not seeing this, what the spinning looks like from Andy's point of view. We're seeing it from Woody's point of view. Okay, so again, we've got another insight in there as to the human characteristics coming out from Woody, and that he's got eyesight, he can see. We've got the one where he's flipped across the chair, and then when Andy goes to then pick him up, and obviously that hand approaching to his face. Obviously, if a toy had feelings and eyeballs, that's what a toy's going to see every time, isn't it? But if it's a baby's toy, it's going to see it going into someone's mouth. If it's going to see it going out of a window, a big hand's going to come grabbing to it, or someone's foot coming to stand on its face. We're starting to get an inkling there of seeing it from a toy's point of view. Okay. And then it changes. He's thrown onto the bed. The door closes. They go off to the birthday party, and Woody blinks and then lifts his head up. And then all of a sudden, he's human, isn't he? He's got human characteristics. So he's talking. They have the conversation, don't they, between all of the toys. All the toys come out. You've got the toy car that races around, which obviously it would race around, but it's obviously that context of, well, it's fast. You had Mr. Potato Head's joke. I don't know if any of you appreciated that joke of Picasso. Have you ever seen pictures of Pablo Picasso's paintings where you've got eyes and nose and mouth all at different angles? Obviously, Mr. Potato Head put it all back in. Might be a bit too much of an old joke for you, but I appreciated it. But again, humour. Toys don't have humour. Obviously, and they don't have any intelligence to the idea of, famous artists, talking 300-400 years ago. You have Mr. Piggybank, or Ham, Mr. Ham, that's his name. He puts the coins into the back of his pot, but obviously he can move his paws, his trotters. He's got a bit of an attitude on him, he's a bit grumpy, he doesn't get the joke, but he's still considered the idea of the money banks. We've still got the coins and he shakes around. And all of the toys have their own personality, that they've got a view, they've got an opinion, they've got a voice, but they still also behave the same way that a toy would also behave. So that's where we've kind of got the link into seeing what life's like from an animal's point of view. So obviously, or a toy's point of view, Mr. Potato Head didn't like being played. He said the rules were 3 years and plus, 3 years and plus. He clearly doesn't like having his nose pulled off or his ears stuck in the wrong place or having his insides pulled out. And that's a little insight into him as a toy, how he feels being played with. So obviously we would see the baby sister pulling everything off left, right and centre and throwing it around, but we've now got the idea of what the toy feels like from that point of view. And that's something we're going to focus on for our activity for today. Okay, so in the next video, I'll show you what your task is. I'm going to go through a modelled example with you and then set you off on your task.